This is for the 100th club tricks. What it is called the £5 tip. What happens is the guest will give you a £5 note, just put in your bucket, and what you do is just say like to them, before I put it in there, I just do like a little bit of money magic. And what you do is you fold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, put it in your hand, and can again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turns into a £10 note. Thank you very much. And put it in your bucket. Thank you. The secret behind the actual £5 tip is to read your guests, make sure it will not offend them. To start off with, you need to have a £10 note, fold it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Placing it under your little finger, like so, keeping your hand at view but hiding the £10 note. When you take the actual note off them, exactly the same, fold it 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Placing it in the hand at the same time, clapping, exchanging the notes, and then just counting again out how many times you folded it, which is 5 times, like so. Vice versa, £10 note. Also advisable to actually offer the money back so you do not offend.
Hi, I'm Steve Smith from Haymarket. The trick I'm going to do for you now is called the cherry trick. This is a 100 club level. Basically for this trick you're going to need 4 mixing tins and 4 cherries and a piece of fruit also. Show you how the trick basically runs. In front of the guest you place 3 cherries. You take your 3 tins. You ask the guest to examine the tins, that there's no holes in the tins and that they're solid. You can offer a tin to a guest if you like to check it. Then ask them to have a look inside the tins. See if there's anything inside there at all. Obviously they can see, as you can see there, but there isn't. Place the 3 tins down on the bar top. We'll call this tin, with this cherry here, cherry number 1. We'll cover that up once. This one here will be cherry number 2, and this one here, cherry number 3. Offer to the guest, would you like number 1, number 2, or number 3? For example, supposing they choose number 2, we take away 2 tins here, 1 cherry is placed on top. Cover it up once, twice, tap it 2 times, lift it up, 2 cherries have gone, 1 cherry's gone through, 2 cherries at the bottom. Ask the guests if they'd like to see that again, do it a little slower for them. Take the first tin, second tin into the middle, and once again, same routine, 1 cherry goes on top. 1, 2, 2 taps, lift it up, and another 3 cherries. Explain to the guests we're going to show them one more time, but now we have no cherries left. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 1 tin here, 1 tin just here, and another tin just here. I'm going to reach into my back pocket, and I'm going to bring out an invisible cherry. Just to make it slightly more difficult, I'm going to put it on top of the second tin. So it's got to go through both tins, which it will do, and appear at the bottom like so. 4 cherries. The next stage to this trick, we have the 2 cherries either side. We take the tin one more time, place it in the middle, 2 cherries on top of the first tin, 2 cherries on top of the second tin. Ask the guest what is 4 multiplied by 4. 16. If you ask the guest again what's 16 multiplied by 16, they're not going to be able to tell you. It's actually 256. You say, what do you do if you get 256 cherries, mix them all together, make a nice ball. When you lift it up, you have an orange. Okay, the easiest way for me to explain how this trick is done is for me to use Boston glasses, so you can see where the cherries are at each time. First of all, you actually start with 4 cherries and not 3. The 3 cherries are placed on the bar top like so. 1 cherry is placed behind your index finger and your middle finger on your right hand. You pick up your 3 what would be mixing tins, 2 in your right hand with 1 cherry behind your fingers. The 3rd tin, or in this case Boston glass, is placed in your left hand. At this point you show the guest that the bases of the tins are solid, and then you show them the inside of the tins, and the cherries concealed behind your fingers in the middle tin. They're then placed on the bar top, and you release the cherry, and it falls into the bottom of the middle tin. Spinning the first tin, you cover up cherry number 1. As you spin the second tin, the cherry will stay in the base as you spin it. It then falls down to form 2 cherries. And again with the third. At this point, you name it 1, 2 and 3. If you offer them to choose either 1, 2 or 3. Either way, you force the middle tin upon them. For an example, supposing they choose tin number 2, I would take away these. If they were to choose tin number 1, I'd say, I'll take away tin number 1, would you like number 2 or number 3? If at this point they say number 3, I take away number 3. The final option is I say, would you like tin number 1, 2 or 3? If they say number 1, I take number 1 away. If they say number 2, I then say to them, and you have to make sure you say it with confidence, I'm going to leave tin number 2 just there. At this point you place the cherry on top, cover it once, cover it twice, tap it 2 times, lift it up to reveal 2 cherries. At this point you can see that the cherry has now fallen into the bottom of the middle tin. Then we just repeat the process. The bottom tin is taken off, placed here, the second tin right here. As you can see at this stage there are now 3 cherries, exactly the same as it was before. First cherry is placed on here, and once again just repeat the process. The cherry will always remain in the middle tin. This point is where you say you have no cherries left. You just carry on, pretend to produce an invisible cherry from your back pocket and place it on top of the second tin. Obviously there's nothing there. 2 taps, lift it up, and now there's 4. You can either end the trick here, but if you feel a little bit more confident, as long as you keep eye contact with the person that you're doing the trick to at all times and keep talking to them, they won't notice what's going on with your hands underneath the bar. At this point is where you grab your 4th tin, which had your orange in it. Your 2 cherries placed here and here. Spin. Make sure you knock quite hard so that the orange drops down. Cover it once. 2 cherries on top. And when you lift it up, your cherries are completely hidden. You're left with your orange.
Okay, the next trick we're going to do for the 100 Club stage is the rubber stem wine glass. Now this is quite a simple trick, it's basically just an optical illusion. All you need is a tall wine glass. Now the objective of the trick is that you're going to start with the glass held between your fingers like so, palm to palm. And the object of the trick is to end with your hands back to back. Okay, now this is quite good to get guests involved because you can hand out wine glasses to a number of guests around the bar. And all you have to do on the count of 3 is exchange the wine glass still in your hand from your hands being palm to palm to your hands being back to back, like so. Right, now the solution to this illusion is as follows. Now the guests probably won't get this first time because it is quite tricky. The trick is to, as the glass is spinning around, you interlock your fingers like that and exchange your hands from being palm to palm to back. Okay? So all you're doing is you're interlocking your fingers as you're spinning the glass round to reverse your hands.
This concludes the 5 tricks required as part of 100 Club Bartender certification.